NCP chief Mr. Nahid Islam has stated to the nation on 8th February 2026 evening. His address to the nation was around 38 minutes long. So it was a long speech, and to some people it will take some patience to hear his whole speech. But I thought of making a summary video of his speech, and it felt like that his speech is the manifesto of National Citizen Party. So he actually summarized his party's manifesto if they come to the power. Nahid Islam has started his speech with the July Revolution. Of course, he remembered and showed his tribute to all the martyrs injured, all the participants of the July Revolution, and also the expatriates of Bangladesh who have showed their support, courage, and contributed in any way they can during the July Revolution. In his speech, he mentioned that why the July Revolution has occurred, the discrimination in the system by the state, the cronyism, the nexus of corruption, everything was addressed in the very beginning of the speech of Mr. Nahid Islam. And he also mentioned that some people are trying to restore that system of corruption and discrimination. He might know he was in the system for a long time. Not long, but enough time. Nahid Islam also mentioned that the development idea, the infrastructure development, was focused on Dhaka and maybe surrounding Dhaka. So it seems that rest of the country was completely out of focus from development, and that was the design for corruption. In the name of development, it was only looting, and it was just embezzlement and grafting money. He addressed the crimes which were committed by the fascist regime, and he promised that the crimes will be judged. The fascist regime won't be spared. The security forces and the government, everything in the system, just executed injustice on the people. Nobody was safe from the government and the security forces, which were paid their salaries by the taxes of the people. Yeah. Nahid Islam also mentioned that after 5th August, some miscreants, corrupts, and cronies of fascist regime have taken shelter in cantonment, and cantonment has sheltered them and also facilitated their escape. So this thing is taken concern by NCP. Good. Moreover, Nahid Islam also mentioned when the interim government initiated the trial of crimes against humanity by the forces, some of the government wings did not cooperate the government. The government wings, pampered by the fascist regime, tried to obstacle the interim government. Not unexpected. The trial of enforced disappearances, the secret detention cells of last fascist regime were obstacled by the forces. The government wings which are operating now. Nahid Islam also mentioned about the money which were looted from our country, around 30 trillion taka. Wow, 30 trillion taka. 30 lakh crores taka. He said, though the interim government is trying to return some money from abroad, but it did not succeed. And as a whole, he said that interim government did not succeed in many things because the bureaucrats sabotaged the government. Yes, bureaucrats did sabotage the government. And the corrupt bureaucracy, the oligarchs, all are just in the same boat when there is an opportunity of corruption. So Nahid Islam said that this type of oligarchs, bureaucrats, all will be declared as national enemy and they will be tried in the court of justice. And then Mr. Nahid Islam talked about the diplomacy and the diplomatic relation of Bangladesh with the world. especially with the neighboring country, India. Nahid Islam is promising an independent and balanced diplomatic policy. And previously, in the fascist regime, India was controlling our diplomatic relations, what we can do with the world, what we can't, how our policies will be designed, everything. But Nahid Islam said, now there will be a different policy. India also killed our people in the border, and surprisingly, our authorities tried to defend India when they killed our own people. Nahid Islam said, during the fascist regime, Bangladesh became a vassal state or colony of India, and it will be no more. Nahid Islam also talked about SAARC, ASEAN. He also expressed his commitment to enrich and enhance the relation of Bangladesh with the Muslim world. So that will be a very efficient and necessary move for Bangladeshi diplomatic relations. He also said the expatriates will be given importance. They will be facilitated with all the things they need. Good. When talked about the armed forces, Nahid Islam said that our armed forces were used against ourselves. Yeah, it happened. He said armed forces will be operated for the interest of the people of Bangladesh. They will be modernized and they will go high-tech. He also mentioned that there will be military training for the people above 18 years old in Bangladesh, and it will make the nation ready as a public defense force. Nahid Islam talked about the market. The market of commodities, and he talked about the middleman's power in our market system, and this thing will be reduced. Bangladesh had a supply chain dependency on India. This dependency will be broken, and we will go to various markets in the world to ensure our commodities. So the market system will be reformed and the prices of regular commodities will be controlled accordingly. Nahid Islam talked about police atrocity, the most brutal force in Bangladesh we have ever seen. He talked about the role of police during the July Revolution 2024, and he talked about the reform of police. Nahid Islam talked about the justice system. He said the legal and the justice system of Bangladesh was corrupt. You could just buy verdicts in the courts. The administrative mentality, the mentality of the administration employees of Bangladesh were colonial. The people in the system perceives the general people as some peasants. So this thing should be changed. He ensured that government services will be decentralized, the local government will be empowered and more accountable, and he ensured that the local government people will be educated. The representative which are being elected by the people as the authority of local government will be graduates or postgraduates. He also addressed the fear of Bangladesh becoming a conservative country, but he ensured that the Bangladesh will be Bangladesh. Bangladesh will not be Afghanistan. Maybe we can look at some models like Malaysia or Turkey. So there is no chance that Bangladesh will be a far-right country at all. And in this context, he also talked about the dress. There will be freedom of dress. Anyone can wear anything according to their taste, context, culture. And he ensured zero tolerance on violence against women. Nahid Islam also talked about the corruption and the mismanagement of health sector. The education sector is just broken down. The quality of the teachers is very poor. No wonder. He emphasized about keeping the interest of farmers. Bangladesh is an agro-based economy. So farmers are a very important player in our economy. Agricultural economy is tangled with corruption. and Nahid Islam said this corruption will be eliminated. Nahid Islam also addressed electricity and fuel issues. He said that the irregular and the corrupt deals which were signed by previous fascist government will be revised and will be cancelled when necessary. He also said that they want to go to explore the Bay of Bengal for oil and gas fields. Good. Someone is talking about Bay of Bengal. Not only for oil and gas, Nahid Islam has emphasized the use of Bay of Bengal as an economic hub. So, Dr. Yunus has injected the idea of using Bay of Bengal inside our people, I see. Good. He also mentioned that overseas employment system of our country is corrupt and controlled by some crony syndicates. So he said this should be addressed and this overseas employment system will be more efficient and corruption free if they come to power. We hope so. Nahid Islam also talked about the mismanagement in transport system, and he said that if they come to power, every minister will use the public transport at least once in a week, and secretary level employees, I mean the bureaucrats, they will use the public transport at least twice per week. We really want to see that if you come to the power, though it should be a promise from every political party, whoever comes to the power. And in the end, Nahid Islam said that interim government has initiated and tried to accomplish many reform things, but the government could not succeed all the things which were initiated. And he said that you have seen that who are creating the obstacles. Yeah, we have seen. Maybe he meant some political parties and of course the bureaucrats too. In the finishing of his statement, Nahid Islam mentioned Sharif Osman Hadi. He ensured that if his party or his alliance goes to the power, they will ensure the justice for Hadi. And finally, he asked to people for coming to vote. So it seems Nahid Islam has covered all the sensitive issues, popular issues, discussed issues, and it's a good statement. It sounds like the manifesto, of course, but if this is the manifesto, that's a good manifesto. At least he did not fear to mention the sensitive things. He mentioned fearlessly about the security forces, neighboring country, corrupt bureaucrats, military forces, oligarchs, nexus of corruption, everything. Hopefully, he will be able to keep his promise after going to the power. And yes, Nahid Islam also talked about referendum. Yes, for referendum. Gonobhote? Hai. Inkilab Zindabad.